In previous videos, we discussed the what PCOS is and what the investigations we require for PCOS. In this video, we will be discussing the management of PCOS. So, if we divide the management, it is roughly into 3-4 parts. First is lifestyle modification, second is the medical management, and third is the laparoscopic ovarian drilling. So first, coming on to lifestyle modifications. Lifestyle modification include the dietary lifestyle and the exercise. So dietary approach includes the balanced diet, moderate intake of carbohydrates, which includes the complex unrefined carbohydrates. The complex carbohydrate is something which is required for patients with PCOS, and the foods which have low glycemic index, like green leafy vegetables, leafy and non-leafy, the millet based vegetables, millet based food, all these things they have low glycemic index. So glycemic index is more important rather than the calories which the food takes, which is more important for the patients with diabetes, with PCOS, the patients who have insulin resistance. PCOS with hypothyroidism, we should specially tell the patient to avoid the food which is not good for the thyroid patients. The same applies to the PCOS patients with thyroid, like cauliflower, turnip, cabbage and asparagus. Second is the exercise. We have to tell patient how and which exercises they should do. So 150 minutes per week of moderate exercises or 75 minutes per week of intense exercises. And it should include muscle strengthening 2 consecutive days a week. So the ideal weight loss of 5 to 10% in 6 months should be achieved. Then coming on to medical management. First medical management is metformin therapy. What is metformin? It is an oral biguanide. And how does it act? It improves insulin sensitivity, it enhances peripheral glucose uptake, and it inhibits hepatic glucose production, that is gluconeogenesis. It inhibits that. Second is myo-inositol, because there is a lot of GI side effects with the gastrointestinal side effect with the metformin therapy. So not all the women can take metformin therapy. Although we started slowly, as you must be knowing how we start metformin, we should always start it slowly, 500 mg OD once a week, then slowly we increase it to 500 mg BD in another week, and then slowly we increase the dose to 500 mg TDS to maximum of 2 gram per day we can give to the patient. But some patients cannot tolerate then what is the option for those patients? There is something known as myo-inositol, which is an option for the patient which cannot tolerate metformin. Myo-inositol plays an important role in signal pathways of the cells, and a deficiency of inositol in cellular mediator inositol phosphoglycan leads to insulin resistance. Okay, so what is the mechanism of action? It increases insulin sensitivity and glucose uptake by the cells. So that is how the myo-inositol work, and it improves the insulin resistance and thus decreases the androgen levels. Dose is 4 gram per day. Then coming on to laparoscopic ovarian drilling. When the laparoscopic ovarian drilling, the role comes in. When we have to do the ovulation induction to the patient, there are 2 ways we can do ovulation induction. One is the medically we can give the oral ovulation to the patient. Second is we can give the gonadotropins to the patient for the ovulation induction to those patients who do not respond to the oral ovulations like clomiphene or letrozole. The third step is laparoscopic ovarian drilling. We will come in detail to these methods of ovulation induction in PCOS. Just as a part of management, I have included this little bit one slide over it, but this is we will discuss in another video what are the methods for ovulation induction in PCOS patients. What laparoscopic ovarian drilling is, as this is the polycystic ovarian morphology ovary, and this is after laparoscopic ovarian drilling. It appears like what is requirement in LOD. There is the rule of 4. Rule of 4 includes 4 puncture per ovary, which include each of 4 seconds at 40 watts. So 40 watt current we are putting for 4 sites in a ovary. One current is for 4 seconds and at the depth of 2 to 5 mm. So it gives roughly 640 joules of energy per ovary. Okay, so the site which we have to choose is very important, that is anti-mesenteric border. We should avoid hilum to, because if we will put the energy, the current to the hilum, that will hamper the blood supply to the ovary, and in turn that will lead to damage to the ovarian reserves. So this rule of 4 is followed while LOD. In our next video we will discuss which are the methods for ovulation induction, which are the medical methods, which are the oral ovulation, what are the injectables, and what LOD and how LOD helps. Thank you.